If you're thinking about moving to Montenegro, you're probably wondering how much money do you actually need in 2026. In this video, I'll show you realistic monthly costs, rent, food, utilities and daily life, based on real life in Montenegro. Montenegro is still more affordable than most Western European countries. But, and this is important, prices have gone up in the last few years, especially rent and groceries. So, your real budget will depend on whether you live on the coast or inland, your lifestyle, how many family members you have, and your housing situation. Let's look at realistic numbers. Let's talk about the rent. This is going to be your biggest cost. Podgorica, for example, 2026, realistic if you want to rent one older one bedroom, it's going to be between 350 to 500. Then modern one bedroom would be 500 to 800 euros, also depending on the part of the town. And family apartment between 700 up to 1,100 euros. And if we talk about cost, Budva, Kotor, Tivat, long-term rent would be anywhere between 700 and 1,200 or even more. And of course, more if you're talking about the high season or some luxury. So if you want to save money, Podgorica is usually much cheaper than the coast. Groceries? This is where many online estimates are actually too low, so what you can find on Facebook and other places, it's actually changing every month. So at this point, and I'm recording this in February 2026, the basic groceries for one single person could be around 400 euros, and that's really basic. But you're talking about a family of 3 and 4, realistic range would be between 500 to 800 per month, depending on the eating habits and imported products. So if you cook at home and buy local products, you will save a lot. Imported and specialty foods increase the bill quickly. And another story is if you're eating out. So if you're eating out, typical prices would be like coffee can be anywhere between like €1.50 for espresso up to 3 euros. Casual menu can be between 8 to 15 euros. Restaurant dinner 15 to 25 per person. Also depends where you go, what kind of restaurant and so on. So let's say that Montenegro is still very cafe friendly. Then if we talk about the utilities, that also depends on you, of course, how much you spend and everything, but let's say that some average monthly utilities for some small apartment can be between 80 to 120, and then for the family can be between 120 to 180. Also this depends, is it a winter time when you're spending more electricity for heating, or it's the summertime, or it's the springtime, so depends also. And if we talk about internet and mobile phone, that also can be anywhere between 25 up to 50 euros. So total monthly budget, if you're talking about the single person for Podgorica, can be between 700 up to 1,000. Comfortable single expat between 1,000 and 1,400. Also depends really what kind of apartment you choose, where are you staying and so on. And for the family, it can be between 1,500 up to 2,300 and even more, much more probably if you have 3 or 4 people in the family. So some key reality checks: Montenegro can still be very affordable, but not as cheap as many old articles say. The biggest factors are rent, lifestyle, imported food in general, let's say, because we import almost everything, and coastal versus inland living. So if you live like a local, it's very reasonable. If you live like a Western expat lifestyle, the cost rises very fast. So yes, Montenegro 2026 is still really relatively affordable, but realistic planning is important. If you're learning Montenegrin or preparing to move here, check out my courses at learnmontenegrin.me and tell me in the comments, what monthly budget were you expecting?